Honorable Kuria, how should this conversation by the bipartisan team be taken in? Should it then go back to parliamentarians to debate it again, or should it come from them straight to the people and ratified by Parliament?
Trevor, Parliament is composed of representatives of the people. And if all the political players would take advantage of the premium position of Parliament, then this discussion would adequately be dealt with in Parliament. Because if you look at even the composition, what Honorable Senator here was talking about, which are the majority, which are the minority, there are very many people who feel disgruntled across the political divide on particular decisions. Because remember, even when we come to Parliament by the strength of our political parties, if, for example, I'm appointed, so I'm elected into Parliament through UDA, but bottom line, I am elected to represent the people of Molo. So where there is a conflict between my political party's position and my people's position that elected me to Parliament, I will take my people's position. Because I am, first of all, a Molo resident, then a UDA member. So my loyalty is more to my people than to my political party. And so when there is a position or a decision that I feel will disadvantage my people, I will take my people's position, not the party position. And if Azimio, our Azimio brothers and sisters would take that and persuade people across the political divide to issues and policies that affect the people, then they would get support across the political divide. And you've seen this happen. In 2018 or 19, when there was a proposed increase of VAT on fuel to, I think, 16%, we saw a very divided approach to that matter in Parliament. We had people, both in ruling party and opposition, united that we do not want this increase in VAT on fuel, because they were persuaded, not intimidated. But when you have a coalition that wants to lead the people, quote unquote, like cows, and not allow room for negotiation or discussion, and where if you are disgruntled, then you are ejected out. And case in point is what is happening to our Jubilee brothers and sisters. They really went out of the way. They sacrificed their all. If you look at someone like Honorable Sabina Chege, if I'll use an example, she really went out of her way, losing her political seat, losing her popularity in the region. You saw in one of the functions she publicly cried when she tried to persuade her people to support this political formation, and the people, absolutely rejected her. She cried genuinely because she believed in a cause of Azimio cause. But when she came, and then because now they think that I don't know what happened between them, then the issue is now to kick her out of that position, and everyone that has disagreed with Azimio, the decision has to kick them out from their position, to kick them out from their committees, because even if you remember, even a little earlier, even the ones that disagreed were being kicked out of committees. Then they are using intimidation instead of persuasion. Yeah. So when you intimidate legally elected individuals to Parliament, you are not going to succeed. On the issue of composition of IEBC, I would like to just a minute weigh in on this particular matter. You know what Azimio want? They want Raila to appoint the commissioners, plain and simple. But you have a law. And this law actually was passed in Parliament. And if I remember, the sponsor of this bill, the IEBC bill, at the tail end of last Parliament was the leader of majority then, the Honorable Amos Kimunya. And that's how we ended up with the Cherera 4, which was approved. So if you are in a position of influence and you're able to appoint people that you like into the commission, then it is okay. But the same law now, when you're on the other side, you do not want the law to apply to you. You want now to change how it's done, because you won't think, and a country cannot be run like that. A country is not a personal property of anybody. So if I make a law today, then I must agree that the law will apply to me even tomorrow when I'm not the appointing authority. Who are the composition of the selection panel for IEBC? We're talking about a representative from the Parliamentary Service Commission. Who are the members of Parliamentary Service Commission? They are people the commissioners appointed across the political divide. We have our Azimio people in Parliamentary Service Commission. We have the political parties liaison committee, which is supposed to give 1 member. We have the Law Society of Kenya, which is supposed to give 2 people, a man and a woman. Who forms the Law Society of Kenya? In fact, we've seen, including even the current case in court, on the legality of appointment of cabinet administrative secretaries being sponsored by Law Society of Kenya. So technically, we could say that Law Society of Kenya is, if I would use the political word, is more affiliated to Azimio than it would on government. And usually the Law Society of Kenya usually gets to be more, if you look at it politically, more of opposition than in government. So, they have 2 people.
Against the government policies now, yes. They're... No,
I'm just saying, I say politically, quote unquote politically. I'm not talking about the legality of it. It's a decision I really respect. But usually, they will take decisions that are not popular with the government. They are supposed to nominate 2 people. The intra-religious council is supposed to appoint 2 people. Then once this panel decides who are going to be selected to be commissioners, this panel has to carry interviews publicly. What does publicly mean? That if you and I have any issue with any of those commissioners, I can go and present my petition in that public hearing. And if, for example, I have evidence, and remember, even this public hearing receive a lot of media coverage, receive a lot of publicity, and if I am able to demonstrate that this particular commissioner cannot be independent because they are conflicted, certainly the public will judge even, and that person cannot be appointed as commissioner. But these people don't want that. They want only commissioners that they themselves appoint as individuals. You cannot run a country like that.
All right.
A country is not a personal property of anybody in this country.